All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Mallet, and I'm here with Jennifer Foxx. We're going to be presenting something I think that's near and dear to all music teachers' hearts, and that is how to keep your music students practicing all year long. Um, I'm the co-founder of Practice Space, and for years we've been thinking about not just how to motivate students and to organize lessons for teachers, but we're also always thinking about how to retain students as well. And we know that during the summer, with all the traveling that students do all over the world, that one thing that we want to try to do is to keep them as students. And one way to do that is with Practice Space. So we'll go into a few strategies on how to do that throughout this webinar. And Jennifer, who's fantastic piano teacher, presenter at many of the major conventions. We actually hung out last year at MTNA, and longtime Practice Space user will be going into some of the amazing challenges that she has come up with. And I was so motivated by those challenges that we saw in our Facebook group that we had to bring you on. So um, before we get started, I wanted to go over just a few things. In our Facebook group, I've noticed some of the users were asking what some of our new features that we've come out with in the past couple of months. So I wanted to quickly highlight a few of those features. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and get into it. So the first new feature that we have that's pretty recent are the shared libraries. So some of these features are definitely more for like studios and multiple teachers, but I've seen teachers with solo studios use these features as well. So shared libraries are a great way to organize your libraries for all of your teachers so everyone's on the same page. It's very easy to do. You just go to libraries. Well, you have to make sure that shared libraries is switched on. You can go to settings and you switch shared libraries on. Then once you're in here, you just click add new. You put the new name of library. You can put a description here, add a library icon if you wish. But then when you go to the next screen, you'll see the instructors that you've invited. If you have a multi-teacher studio, you can click on those instructors. You can change the permissions to, if they edit, they can change and add stuff within that library, take stuff out. And if it's view only, they can only view the library, but they'll still be able to add those assignments to their students. And then if you switch another teacher as an admin, they'll have access to changing the name of the library to, really editing anything within that library. So most of the time with the teachers that we have, we use just edit. So that way they can add and remove things in that library. And it's great because a lot of music studios want everyone to have the kind of on the same page with the curriculum that they use, with the pieces that they use. And that way you can organize it by instrument, by level, really any way that you want to organize it. You can add as many libraries as you want here, and you can always change the permissions. And if you're finished with that library, you can go ahead and archive it as well. So that's that's the first feature I want to go over. The next is the studio admin dashboard. So we have some new settings here under studio, and we have under people. We still have the view where you can see all of your students within your whole studio, and it'll list which teacher that student is with. But one new feature we have here under groups, you'll be able to see, we've got tons of requests for this. You can see which groups now that your teachers have started within your studio. Before, you can only see your own groups, and then the teachers would see their own groups. But now, as a studio admin, you can see all of the different groups within your studio. It says which instructor. You can filter it by instructor, by active groups or archived groups as well. And if you click on it, you'll be able to see the contents, the students, the lessons, the instructor of that studio. You can add instructors to a group now. You can remove instructors from a group if someone's finished teaching that group. So it's really a great way to organize those groups. Under communication, we have now, you can see all of the chats within your studio. So before you can only see chats with your own student. Now you can see the chats that other teachers and other groups are having as well. So, we have the instructor, the group, and all of that right under one place. And then under settings, many of you already have seen this, but you can turn on and off the chat feature. You can turn on and off group chats. You can turn the shared libraries on, and the email lessons we'll get into in a second, which is a great tool to get lessons to your students if they aren't logging in all the time to practice space. Then the next quick update that we've had, if you go to a student, you can now go ahead and add a practice. So if they have a practice, and here, let me see if another student here, you can edit the time. So if a student maybe left their timer running or something like that, you can edit the time down from 20 hours if they left it running for too long down to the actual time that they've practiced. You can add practices in if a student was maybe in a zone where they didn't have Wi-Fi, or if they were traveling but did practice and maybe they weren't able to get onto the app, you can add a practice for the student here. Just put the date, the time, the duration. You can edit gems, the gem count for a student, and you can also edit their streak. So this is a huge one. We used to get emails all the time that a student maybe forgot to log in or didn't have Wi-Fi and they lost their streak. You can now go in and edit the streak for the student yourself. You just have to go to that student and then click on those three dots up in the top right, and then you can go ahead and edit those settings. And then the final update that I think is really important for everyone to know is the email lessons that I quickly mentioned. So now when you go ahead and publish a lesson, you can click on this icon here. If it's on in your settings, you can then toggle it on or off here. Green means that it's on. And when you hit publish, the lesson will not only go to the student in their app, or if they're using the web, it will also go to their email as well, or the parent's email, whoever is used, signed up for Practice Space with. So it's great. They'll have all of their assignments within that email. It'll have all the attachments in that email. And just really, it's that way anyone can see it, but also it's a great way for parents to have an overview of what the students are working on as well. So those are a few of the updates that we've had over the recent months. Now to get into some strategies, and Jennifer, if you want to jump in for any of these strategies, or if there's any strategies that you use, I always love to hear from other teachers as well. But we need as many strategies, I think, as we can get to keep students practicing and motivated, especially during summer months and holidays. So the first one is the obvious one, and it's kind of a big reason why we made Practice Space, and those are the streaks and gems. So what do you have students that are that have really high streaks?
I have
in your
to
studio,
go and see where some of them are, but I have at least 2 or 3, I think 3 right now, that are really working on streaks. I know they're at least 3 months. Yeah. So yeah.
That's awesome. And those are motivating for several reasons. I think first, there's so many platforms and apps out there. Even I think like Snapchat even has like the streak. I don't know if people use Snapchat anymore, but this, it's a way to really motivate students to keep coming back. And at my school, the California Conservatory of Music that started with Robert, that's kind of where the inception of Practice Space came from. We had students doing practice streaks, just paper, but we started noticing that we were students at 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. I have one student who's on her 13-year challenge. She's practiced every day for 13 years. And obviously she started it before we had Practice Space, but then she switched over to Practice Space. But it's just, with these streaks, the reason why we put it in Practice Space is because we noticed that once a student gets to 30-day streak, and then 50 days, then 100 days, after they get past 100 days, it's like it just becomes more second nature to them. They're not really thinking about the streak as much anymore. It's just it's just become a part of their daily routine. And as Shinichi Suzuki said, only practice on the days that you eat. So I think that it really does become part of everyday
it's funny. I have a parent that said, kind of cursing Practice Space, because because her daughter's, been doing the streak, and she's like, my daughter's, what do you call it? Not possessed, but you know what I mean? Oh, I can't think of the word, but anyway, she can't, not get her day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. Like even a couple of my students are like, I got my practice in at 11:50. I had to get my so yeah, streak. And I just wanted to share a couple of quick photos here of what some of our users have shared in our practice space Facebook page. But another great thing is that it's motivating to take photos of the students and to post on the social media as well. It's really going to get the students and families excited, but also it gets other students in the studio excited as well because they see this, right? And the parents see it and they're like, okay, I want to be a part of this. I want to go ahead and practice. And the more students practice, obviously, the longer they will retain. The longer they'll stay in your studio. So that's the first strategy, or streaks. The second strategy are just challenges, and I'm not going to go into challenges because Jennifer has an amazing presentation that she'll go on with the challenges that she does. And some of the challenges that we've done at our school are just like simple challenges, practice challenges, video challenges, record 5 videos within a month. We have custom challenges as well, and like perform in public once in this specific time frame. But the challenges that you've come up with, I'm excited for you to share because those are much more creative than anything that we've come up with here at the school. I think will be a huge motivating factor for a lot of the teachers out there to start using challenges who haven't jumped into that section of practice space yet. The third strategy are asynchronous lessons. And this one, I think, is a huge saver of students during the summer, especially because what happens as soon as summer months hit, the students say, hey, we're going to go this place for 30 days. We're going to travel, like I have all these other extra activities. I can't make it to the lesson, but they kind of want to still hold their spot, or they still want to, and they can't expect a teacher to hold a spot for, 30 days, for 60 days for free. It's like, we need to keep our spots filled. This is trying to make a living. So asynchronous lessons in practice space are a fantastic way to let students have this compromise of keeping your spot, but not having to come during that lesson time. So what we do at our school, and what a lot of other schools have done, is during the students' lesson time, say that they're traveling. During their lesson time, you create a lesson in practice space like you would if you were with the student. Create the lesson, you put all the materials in during their lesson time, you send it over to them. And then during the week, anytime that they want, the student can respond with what you've told them to do with some videos. So they can either share the videos in their practice, so it'll go onto your feed. The students can send the videos in chat. And in the chat, they can also send PDFs of like any worksheets that you send or anything like that. And, the families really get a lot of value out of it. And it's just a fantastic way for students to continue their weekly lessons without having to be on site with you or having to fight on Zoom, especially if they're in a different time zone, across the world. But, it's also a lot of teachers have used practice space for makeup lessons as well. So, not sure.
Oh, yes. I have a huge
any
library of
asynchronous?
videos that are ready to go. So it's funny because
Yeah.
I've been told I don't do makeups at all, but I said I will, send a video lesson if they request it, and I am told over and over again how that they're so thankful how flexible I am, and I'm just sending a video and stuff. So it's it's nice that they also see the value of that I am still providing them something, while they can't make it, and they could still progress. But it's honoring and respecting my
Yeah.
time as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you bring up a good point,
Mhm.
that they're thankful for it, but it's like something that actually is also very beneficial for the teacher as well. And Teresa Case, who has Piano Central Studios, she was on with a webinar, did a whole thing about using practice space. We call ditch makeup lessons, and she doesn't even call them makeup lessons.
Mhm.
She calls them now missed lessons. So you get your missed lesson video here in practice space. So, and then the final strategy, I wanted to quickly go over our performance rooms, and
Mhm.
our dear friend Luann, who is a fantastic piano teacher and great friend of Practice Space,
Yeah.
and also I think of you too. She uses performance rooms all the time. So a performance room is basically, you can create a group, and once you create that group, it'll create a group chat, and within that group chat, you can really divide it any way you want. At my school, we've done like advanced guitar performance rooms, piano performance rooms. So you can just put those students within that group, and then you can think of it as like a virtual studio class, like we had when we were in college. Except for now, the students can get to. It's like another social community for the students as well. They can upload videos. You can do different challenges within that too with the students. And it's a great way for students to get motivated by each other, but also just to kind of keep them practicing and keep the community going within Practice Space. So it creates peer support, accountability, and it gives them a place to celebrate progress. So I love performance rooms, and I've seen more and more teachers using performance rooms as I look in our Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, now I'd like to turn it over to you, Jennifer, and talk a little bit about those challenges that you've created and that you've shared with some of the teachers in our group. So yeah, what inspired you to start using summer challenges with your students at
Yeah,
your studio?
so in my studio, we typically take 2 months of a summer break. And so it was important for me to come up with ways to keep my students playing. And I also think it's important for students to enjoy their time off. So my ultimate goal was to find ways for them to be able to balance their break and being able to enjoy it and relax, but also progress, or at least not lose anything. So I do that by taking the traditional practice off the table, and we do challenges. So the last 4 to 5 summers, I've been doing a set of weekly summer challenges with my students. In the past, I think I've done like 9 challenges over the summer, but this summer I decided to scale that back and do 6. And I think that is a nice sweet spot I have found this year. I feel like more have participated this year too. And then I was thrilled that I could schedule my challenges and Practice Space. So that was like a game changer I've been waiting for. So I was super happy that you guys released that. So I was able to get those all scheduled. And I thought I would share my slide real quick. Let's see. Here. Okay. All right, challenges. Okay, so here's just a few, handful of challenges that I've done. And challenges can really be anything that you want it to be. We've done the blindfold challenges, you can see in the picture, where students blindfold themselves and play a piece. An upside down challenge has been really fun to do. I didn't do it this year, but I've done it like probably 3 years in a row. When I say upside down challenge, I actually gave a video of me doing it, but I was on the bench, upside down, playing, with the hands over.
Yeah.
And so when my student did this, I just totally cracked up, because that was taking it on a whole other level.
Yeah. Students are finding creative ways
Right.
to use the creative challenges. It's hilarious.
We've done composition challenges, happy birthday by ear challenge. My birthday's in July, so that's always fun to stick in there. An illustration challenge where they can draw, paint, or color an illustration of one of their pieces and then record and share the piece. So really the possibilities are endless when it comes to challenges. So when my students complete a challenge, they share the recording inside Practice Space so they can receive their gems towards the prizes. And to further encourage them to participate in several, because I don't want them just to do one and done, I enter them into a prize drawing if they complete at least 3 or more. So they have to complete at least half of the challenges, and then they get entered into a drawing. And then, yeah.
That's fantastic. Do you have, like, how do you decide which students are going to be part of a challenge? Do you kind of, because in the challenges, just so everyone knows, you can choose specific students, you can choose a group, or you can challenge your
Yeah.
entire studio.
So
how do you
I
kind
opened
of
it up for everybody. I
challenge?
knew there were some families that wouldn't do it because they just are that way. They just don't do these things. But I went ahead and made it available for them. I didn't do my adult students just because you could probably have separate challenges. So some of these challenges, they'd be like, I'm not going to do that. But if you want, if you do teach adults, there's definitely, I think, challenges that you can do with your adult students. And I would do it separately probably.
Yeah.
Another challenge that I did this last year, and I've done this type of challenge many times before, but this year was the first year I was able to integrate it with practice space, was a 30-year challenge. So I'll also show you how I made this work inside practice space. It worked out really well.
Yeah.
So any of the challenge ideas, it doesn't have to be a summer thing. It can be really anytime, any time of year. You can do like a monthly, challenge, and, just to change things up kind of thing during the year. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through.
Yeah, that'd be great if you can show us how you set up and schedule these
Yeah.
practice space.
Okay. Okay, so this is this summer's challenges, what I did. So I'll go through kind of what I did and go from there. Okay, so our first challenge was a Piano Maestro summer camp piece. I wanted them to, do a summer camp piece. And so when we go into I have the description instructions. So just submit a video of playing a summer camp piece. So Piano Maestro each summer has a period of time where they do special pieces they call summer camp pieces. And these are all the challenges that I did this summer was video challenges. And then I just tell them when the deadline is and, just little things. So then the illustration challenge we did. So I just give instructions there. And so, I actually wanted to show you. So I had that many so far. And yeah, so they'll show me a picture of their illustration. Let's see, I'll just see what and then they'll play their piece. So
I love that. It's nice to have that kind of cross between the arts of having the students get creative with their art as well and represent it.
Yes.
Music.
And it's always fun to see too.
Yeah. You know what they're going to come up with.
Yeah. The Accelerando challenge, this was a Luann night. She did this challenge with her students, and I thought it was a fun one. So I added that one where they increase their piece as they get to the end. So it was a video they shared. And then Supersonics, the blindfold challenge. I had one just submit yesterday.
That's awesome.
So that's always fun to see them with their blindfolds. And then this week I just released yesterday Surprise the Teacher, and Surprise the Teacher is pretty much anything, just surprise me. So I gave some options to get them started on ideas. Share a new piece they learned, a composer fact, teach someone a piece, compose a piece, memorize a piece, create a music game, show us how to play, write a musical story, you choose surprise me. So really anything goes on that one. So that's our challenges. And then when you don't have because I scheduled them, you can see, I don't have any upcoming because my last one just went yesterday, but you could see what's coming up, and then you could see the completed, which brings me to my 30-piece challenge. So how I did the 30-piece challenge is I didn't do one just 30-piece challenge. I wanted to reward them as they progressed up to 30 pieces. So I broke it up into 5-piece things. So when they reached 5 pieces, they earned 10 gems. And then when they get to 20, it now becomes 10 or 20 gems. So the farther they go up, the more gems that they earn. And so by the end, they're earning quite a bit of gems when you stack them.
Yeah.
All the gems. So by the time 30, it's 60 because it just doubles how many pieces they did. So that was fun. And then every December, I do a holiday practice challenge. So on this one, I just did a practice 20 days between December 1st through January 12th and earn 250 gems. So that was more of how many practices.
Yeah. So that's the practice challenge you did there. So
Yeah.
you utilized all the different types of challenges, it looks like, that we offer. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. And then I just thought I'd show when you go into creating a challenge, you can name it and then you can choose if it's a practice challenge, a video challenge, or a custom challenge. And I'll talk a little bit more about this in a little bit. And then this is the scheduling part. So you can do the start date and the end date, and then the icon, and then how many gyms you want them to do. And then if you have any custom awards, I click both of these, allow students to see each other's progress, and then the activity feed. And I like to do that just because I like collaboration. I'm really big on collaboration. So anytime that they can root each other on is always a good thing.
Yeah, and if any teachers out there are ever concerned, it's like, so you're always able to moderate and monitor all of the comments and reactions. So nothing is ever happening with just your students.
Right.
It's going to be a part of it, and I think that's some hesitation with teachers that I've seen, especially with the chat. You're always going to be a part of the conversation, no matter what. Students cannot message each other, so
Yeah.
it's really there just as something to have the students, create that community. Because even, at our school, where we've had students here for many years and who have grown up together, as they get more and more busy, they don't see each other as much. So having those community aspects are great, because now they can catch up within practice space, even though they're not seeing each other all the time,
Mhm.
they're friends, and it's a great little meeting spot for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I do have a question about your 30-piece challenge. I love that idea, and I've seen that around quite a bit,
Uh-huh.
different Facebook groups and forums and stuff. So the pieces, like, how long do you usually set the date range for something like a 30-piece challenge? And is it literally like students are learning 30 pieces within that time frame, and how long are the pieces? I mean, how does the whole thing work?
Yeah. So my fall starts in August, like mid-August, and then it goes. I usually end any kind of long-term challenges in April, and so that's the time frame. And this past year, I had students that went way beyond 30 pieces, and so they got special recognition for the top two that just went crazy. I think they like doubled it. So it was crazy. But I do have where it has to be at least 4 lines of music, because you have different levels. And I am aware, like if I have a more advanced student who has this long piece and they're learning long pieces, I'll give them, like 2 or 3 piece worth, if it's against a lot of other kids. And it's nothing's against anybody, it's to yourself. But I understand it's a lot harder to have a 8-page piece, and trying to learn that's going to take a lot longer than a 2-page piece. So, but I have, because I do have my early beginners where a lot of their pieces are just 2 lines or whatever. So I say it has to be at least 4 lines. So it might be technically 2 pieces for
Yeah.
it to count as a piece. So I kind of keep that stuff in line, make it fair, where nobody feels like, oh, I can't do this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are there any other ideas that work well with keeping your students motivated using?
Yeah. So over 20 years ago, I was inspired by Philip Johnston's book, The Practice Revolution. And I implemented an approach, what I call practice projects, to inspire students, of course, to play over the summer break. And so basically, practice projects are a tangible reflection of students' practice time and their goals. And what makes it fun is it really is the freedom of it. So students can create anything that sparks their interest rather than assigning a specific format. I encourage them to create what they enjoy doing. So I'm going to show you an example, because you're like, what?
Yeah,
Okay, so let me go to, okay. All right. So past projects have included everything from summer scrapbooks to Lego creations like that one in the picture. I had a student do a pet rock display, which was fun. I had some do 3D animations, original compositions, drawings, just like the one in the picture where she created this keyboard out of like popsicle sticks.
That's cool.
Yeah. So just like anything goes, I tell them your imagination is, there's no stopping. So you might be wondering, okay, how do these relate to practicing? So they are building a visual representation of what they're doing in their practice. So for example, if student 1 is building a Lego village, they might decide to have their practice project based on time. And so they practice for 20 minutes and then they apply 20 minutes to working on their building their Lego village. Another student is building a pet rock collection, and they decided to add to their collection for every piece that they learned over the summer and see how far their pet rock collection can grow. So if they learned like 6 pieces, their pet rock would have 6, characters. Yeah. And then student 3 is making a quilt, which I've had done, and they decided to make their project goal-based. And so every time they completed a particular goal, so for example, like play 3 times in a row correctly, or play a certain section up to tempo, or whatever their goal is, they add a patch to their quilt. So things like that. They could choose what their goal is and then how to apply it to their physical representation of the project. And so after the summer break, students return in early August for our fall kickoff. I do a fall kickoff every year to kick off the fall semester. And that's when they showcase their projects with each other. And it's always so much fun to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. And it's something I think that all teachers should take note of, is that, I think a danger of music lessons is that a student comes in, we show them their piece, they go home, and then that's kind of it. And they see them again next week to give them the piece, to go home. And then it's like this cycle that almost becomes monotonous, I think, especially for younger students.
Yeah.
And having these kind of projects, I think, just, really engages them in a way that they feel invested in the lessons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not just, it's not just sitting there and just playing these things that their teachers forcing them to do.
Right.
It's actually making it exciting and something that brings them back.
Yeah.
And excited to come to the lesson. It's like that's the whole point, I think, is to really just get kids excited to come back. And this is a great way to do it. So
yeah. And you can still apply this in practice based with the custom challenges and, how they end up doing it, or it definitely can. So then they could still earn their, practice gems and everything, get credit for that.
That's awesome. Great. Yeah. Quickly, just to come back to some of the challenges that you showed us, like what kind of results have you seen in like participation and consistency in student, excitement? You showed us a little bit about, as everyone can see in the details, you can see the student progress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, with you personally, how is the buy-in with the students?
Yeah, I think the ones who do it definitely enjoy doing it. They enjoy it. You definitely see the community building going on, that peer, communication going on, and they're just really supportive of each other and encourage each other. Yeah. And it's the nice thing about them is it gets them out of the norm. It gives them that little break, but they're still playing and they're still doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how have parents responded to the summer challenges? Are they?
Yeah. So they've been supportive. I think whenever you're providing value for their child, it's a positive thing. So even if they don't participate, and some don't, they're still seeing the value. They're still seeing that, hey, my teacher provides all this value, and whether I take advantage of it or not, it's another thing. But yeah.
I think a lot of students do get FOMO after a while. It's like, students excited, and like they have the little progress bar we have in there and all that stuff, and students are like, well, maybe just give it a try. And once they try it, it's like they're hooked.
Right.
The hard part sometimes is just get them over that hump.
Yeah.
And besides challenges in practice space, what other features have you found useful, um, for like student motivation and retention?
Yeah. So each summer, my families choose to participate in a camp session, or they can receive a video lesson packet so they can have some new pieces to learn over the break, or they could do both for an extra tuition fee. They can sign up for both. And some years we will even do a practice workshop. So during COVID, I had recorded my practice workshop, which was great because I have it uploaded in Practice Space. And I can reuse that as an option for anyone who wants that option. So my adult students have even chosen to do that option before, and they love it. So I thought I'd show you a quick peek on practice videos and how I organize the workshop and everything. So let me
Great.
go into Practice Space. I think I'll just go to Veronica real quick. So Veronica was one of my students that did a practice or a summer videos. And so this is her summer video packet. And so in it includes 4 pieces. So I have my video lessons, and then I also have the PDF for her where she can learn, download and print. And I always do studio licenses, or if I have more than one, if it doesn't, there's some pieces that don't have studio licenses. So then I'll do whatever I need for students. But anyway, but yeah, so it has, everything they need to learn their pieces. So that's an example of kind of what a summer packet might look like. And then a workshop, I have it all. So the directions, the details, kind of give their little thing. And then I tell them the PDFs, what's included and what they are.
Yeah.
And how they can earn points. And then of course anything black is a video. And then their PDF, I even created a checklist. So they can print this checklist out if they want to keep track of what they've done on the videos. And then I have a practice workbook that I uploaded for them, worksheets, steps, a little game that they can download. I have a couple games, and then a link, like a video link. I think it was like a YouTube link. How to find time to practice. There was a TEDx talk, and I made a worksheet that went along with the TEDx talk. So while they're watching, they can do the worksheet. So yeah, so that's the practice workshop, which is great to have it all in one spot.
Yeah, it's nice to see the library is not just used for like, here is an assignment, a piano piece, and these are attachments. You can really use the library. It's very robust and diverse, and that's great. Your students are lucky.
Yeah, and it's such a time saver, to have this all up and ready to go, because you could reuse, repurpose.
And keep it all one place. You don't have to check text and Google Drive and email and all that stuff. So
yeah, with all the videos that I do it in the mind of reusing and repurposing.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you. That was incredible. And so if anyone wants to find more info about your resources and what you do, is there a place?
Yeah, I'm going to screen my share or do my screen again. This is something you could screen shot.
Okay, I'll keep it up for a second so folks can.
Yeah. So to support you beyond today, I put together a list of music teacher tips that you can explore on my website anytime. So feel free to screenshot this and then go to musiceducatorresources.com. And then you could type in just the tip number would take you there. Or I have a YouTube channel that you can go on there, and there's a full playlist on my YouTube channel as well. There you can find all my music teacher tips. And then you'll also find a variety of practice resources in my store, from anywhere from incentive programs. I just actually released a new one. And then I have practice games. I have my practice workshop. I even have some freebies. So definitely check that out. And if you're not already using Practice Space, I highly recommend giving it a try. It's made a big difference for my students, and it helps me keep everything I want to share in one easy to access space. So even though not every family uses it, you'll find that, and that's normal. Don't feel like it's not. It is normal. There will be families who don't use it, but I've seen clear growth and engagement in those who do. It's been one of the best ways to support my students and set them up for success.
Oh, thank you. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
Took a screenshot because those are some valuable resources. And Jennifer, you're a fantastic teacher, and thank you for being a loyal practice-based user over these several years. So if anyone wants to, schedule a demo with us, you can go to our website. It's practicebasedapp.com. And then for the demo/demo. And from our website, you can also start a 30-day free trial. So during the free trial, you can have unlimited access to how Practice-Based works. There's no limitations. You can add as many students as you want. You can, if you have a multi-teacher studio, you can add as many teachers as you want. And just give it a test and see if it's something that works for you, especially with the school year coming back. This is a great time to go ahead and use that 30-day free trial. So I think do we have any questions? If not, then, you can always email us at info@practicebasedapp.com if you do have questions. So, but yeah, Jennifer, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we have any questions. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. And, yeah, any questions, go ahead and reach out to us.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Jennifer.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.